The start of Season 3 is here, and 3.0 special program gave us an insane introduction for Scalifer and about the upcoming 2 new limited characters. Today, we're gonna talk about the general kit and pool value of our 2 new limited characters, Velina and Norma. Velina, who will start the Win Element roster, and Norma, who will be another addition to the Far Standard gang. As always, Zenless knows how to animate these characters and cook with their kit, so without further ado, let's talk about the pool value of Velina and Norma. First up is Velina, S-rank Win Anomaly Agent and the very first Win Agent in Zenless Zone 0. Velina has the ability to summon Wind Field, which are effectively powerful against groups, especially at the first waves in Shield defense. And she also activates brand new anomaly effects, the Wind Swept effect, which stops the enemy's action and deals massive wind damage when the anomaly gauge is full, causes the enemy to take more direct wind damage. And this is not the only effect Wind attribute causes. We also have the Vortex effect. This effect will occur instead of disorder if an enemy has a windswept and other attribute anomalies at the same time. Keep in mind that Vortex will only resolve the other attribute anomaly that is not windswept on the enemy, dealing AoE damage of that attribute to neighboring enemies, regardless of the order in which anomaly statuses are inflicted. How you use Vortex is crucial to optimizing your damage output, and because of these new effects, it will make anomaly have more versatility and variety when it comes to rotations. As someone who is anomaly pilled and studies how anomaly works, this will be an insane addition because the condition to have more damage will increase, meaning it will be more challenging to get the best score. It might look intimidating at first, but generally for casual players, it will not matter when you don't really care about optimizing your scores. TLDR, more effects, more damage condition, much challenging, but more casual friendly. Velina's Windswept and Vortex damage will also increase if your team has 2 anomaly agents or agents with the same attribute. Velina will summon a small condensed cyclone and gain 1 stack of wind bite whenever she activates a vortex during combat, whether on or off field, making her one of the best anomaly agents to have right now. The next time Velina applies a vortex, she will call forth the bigger and far more powerful sweeping cyclone after gathering 2 wind bite stacks. Velina's vortex damage multiplier will likewise rise dramatically at this point. Plus, defeating enemies with it will extend the duration of the active cyclone on the field. Enemies in the windswept state will receive 1 instance of a bloom damage from the explosion that occurs when the cyclone fades, making her deal a lot of damage while also supporting her fellow anomaly agents. She's basically Vivian 2.0 if you think about it. As you have noticed, cyclones come in a wide range of colors. The various hues indicate that the chromatic tint effect has been activated. The contamination effect of the corresponding attribute will be triggered when an enemy in the windswept state is first struck by an attack of another attribute, increasing the direct damage of both of the wind attribute and that attribute. When a sweeping cyclone strikes a contamination affected enemy, it will be infused with the corresponding attribute, deal that attribute's damage, and reduce the enemy's anomaly buildup press to both that attribute and the wind. This further makes her a crazy agent because alongside the effect damage increases and her being a sub DPS, now she gives enemies debuff. This makes me wonder how she will compete with previous anomaly characters and even support for anomaly class. In general combat scenario, Velina will acquire Wind Bloom during combat when she enters the battlefield or employs an EX special attack. Holding basic attack or special attack while you have enough Wind Bloom will cause Velina to summon a sweeping cyclone that will continuously attack enemies before activating your teammates' quick assist. Work with your teammates or anomaly DPS to add various characteristics to the cyclone when she releases her ultimate. And that's Velina's kit, a very strong addition to anomaly roster, and her being a starter agent for the new wind attribute. Just reading and understanding her kit from the surface level already convinced me that she's a very valuable character to have, and you guys don't wanna miss out. As a anomaly build myself, of course I'm going to get her day 1 of her release. The only problem that Velina has at the moment is how she restricted 1/3 of anomaly DPS that revolves around disorder mechanic, and it's because of how Velina or wind attribute basically replace disorder with vortex in her kit. We still don't know how much it will affect disorder centric agent agents like Miyabi, Yanagi, and Alice, but from my understanding, because of this change, it will affect these characters' mechanics. We will see though on her release because I'm planning to try her out on every anomaly DPS that I have, but other than that, I guarantee that Velina will be a core member of most anomaly teams out there just because of what she gives out to support them. I can't say this enough, but her value is something that you shouldn't ignore, especially coming into Season 3 meta. Now let's talk about our S-rank Fire Stun agent, Norma, and another member of the Fire Stunner gang. Norma can give teammates more chain attack triggers on command and can deploy various missile, drills, and other weapons in the battlefield to deal massive damage to enemies and quickly build up these. Norma will launch a barrage of shots when you hold basic attack and throw her hat into the air. The previous character's quick assist will activate when the skill strikes an enemy. Norma will use this unique resource to transform a quick assist into a chain attack once she has enough preheated chamber. This is Norma's most important instrument in causing significant damage with her allies. Norma's unique mechanic put her to one of the stunners that enables agents to do something out of the rules of the game. The first thing that I thought of is basically combining her with Astraeao to spam chain attacks to enemies. I can't wait to see people do this team comp because I know it will be a chaotic showcase to witness. So speaking of preheated chamber, how do we get them? Norma immediately gains a certain quantity of this resource and it will automatically build up as Norma spends more time in combat. Norma's hat will automatically enters battlefield on her behalf when she switches off field. When it has enough preheated chamber, it will run into Norma's direction and give her the resources it has temporarily stored. And when she picks it up, Norma's hats will remain in combat and gather preheated chamber on her behalf when she tosses it to attack an enemy and initiates an ally quick assist. In other words, Norma's hats can also contribute to this accumulation of this resource. So she doesn't really need to be on field all the time. Because of this, it will give your DPS more time to deal significant damage. This greatly reminds me of how Jufufu works, where she accumulates resources with Huwei while off field. She's basically Jufufu, but instead of buffing while dazing, Norma does damage while dazing. I do wonder who's more valuable between them, but I guess it will depend on the data that will be shown when Norma comes out. Now regarding to Norma's special attack, when the EX special attack button is pressed with sufficient energy, Norma will direct her turrets to launch a barrage of missiles at the enemy and obtain some preheated chambers. The main attack target will also take a lot of damage and daze if they haven't been stunned yet. And when the enemy is stunned, even greater damage will be dealt with this skill applied to the stunned target. This is where her main damage output comes from and what determines her uniqueness compared to stunners that we have. Her ability to deal damage as a stunner in a stunned window removes the usual uselessness of stunner in this scenario. Stunners are generally useless in stunned window because they don't really do anything. But with Norma, now you have an excuse to use a stunner in a stunned window because she deals significant damage in this state. To increase the amount of damage dealt and accumulate more preheated chamber, hold the EX special attack to prolong the missile launch duration. Norma places 2 turrets in the field after her EX special attack is activated. These turrets automatically launch a machine gun attack on the enemy after a predetermined amount of time. If the squad member stuns an enemy during this time, or if Norma uses preheated chamber to initiate a teammate's chain attack, the turrets will instead fire missiles for a predetermined amount of time. Press the ultimate button when decibels are full and Norma will summon tactical artillery to bombard adversaries, delivering a ton of preheated chamber and massive damage. That's basically Norma's kit. Norma solves another weakness that stunners have alongside the off-field capabilities that Zenless 0 does already solve using previous stunner agents. Norma is basically the combination of every aspect that makes a stunner great. But of course, that will not be enough unless she gives a significant change to the team composition. Because in Zenless 0, you need to have an agent that can greatly support your DPS and overall team. Does Norma do that? Yes, but not comparable to the strongest stunner that we have at the moment, which is Dialin, who has the undeniable skill to unleash agents ultimate on command. But that doesn't mean Norma is weak. She's actually strong as heck because she's probably going to be the substitute for stunners like Dialin, who have more variety in team comp, especially when we have endgames that need multiple teams to clear. That's all the information we got in 3.0 special program for Velina and Norma. This lineup is easy to determine who has more value in the current meta and in the future meta too, but it will still involve your account's condition to decide who's the best to pull between them. For Velina, in my opinion, she has the most pull value mainly because of how she will start the domination of wind element in the future, and she's clearly more future proof based on her kit and anomaly variation that we have at the moment. She can easily easily work with most anomaly and will probably be the focus of the endgame in few months of Season 3. If this is true, then her value just skyrocket even more and will define that she is a must pull. She's also easy to get based on your account. If you have an anomaly filled account, then get her. If you don't have any anomalies, get her too, because she's an easy starter character to have for new players and non-anomaly filled players. Of course, you can wait for another wind agent in the future, but can your account hold for that long of a wait, because we don't know when we will have another wind agent, and we also don't know if that wind agent will be anomaly. It could be attack or rupture. If we're going to be logical here, in my opinion, get her. If you don't want to, that's okay too, but get ready to face whatever the meta is going to be in the future endgame. For Norma's case, it will depend if you have a good stunner or not. If you already have stunners like Dialin, Jufufu, and Trigger, I would not recommend getting her since she will probably only give a small upgrade, and it's clear that she is a substitute for team comms. If you don't really have any stunners, it's 50-50, because if you only have good stunner like Dialin, the lack of stun agents will definitely be a worry. If you have low performance stunner, then get ready to decide to get her or go after the next agent, because we all know that the agent that will be in 3.1 is a strong character, probably because it might be a void hunter. It sucks, but Norma is in a situation where she's sandwiched by strong characters, and if you are a free-to-play player and following the meta, she is easy to pass. It's sad, but that's the reality of gacha. Sacrifices must be made, but in the end, it's your choice to make. If you like the agent, then pull. I advocate for fun first, meta second, because if you're not going to pull for the characters you want and just get dragged by the meta, then I think that's not a fun way to play the game. Overall, both is a good choice, but at the moment, Velina has the most full value. So what do you guys think? Are you guys gonna pull for Velina or Norma? Like I said at the start of this video, I already got my eyes on Velina, mainly because she is a mommy boobalicious, and she's also perfect for my account that is very anomaly filled. I'm excited for 3.0, and I hope this patch is going to be a good start for Season 3 meta. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!